Hey everyone, real quick, I just want to go through some of my Stockman patterns that I have. Probably one of my favorite knives is just any three-bladed Stockman, so real quick. Here's a Shat Morgan sow belly Stockman. Would really be interested to see GEC's rendition of something like this. Blades are all nice and snappy. It's got not very good stainless steel. I think it's like a 420 HC. But I really like how they made those bone covers turn out. And of course, I've always been a fan of how that spay blade sits in that curve. Very nice. Real quick, here's a GEC I've shown before. Really like this knife. All I'm going to say about it tonight is that I actually ended up buying flits to get rid of that etching, and you can see where I've maybe taken some steel wool to it, but this was really the way to go for removing that etching. I think it turned out really well. Here's the Dixie Stockman that I've really, just in the past couple of weeks, has seen a lot of use for me. It's got a nice muskrat clip blade. They dress it with a Warren Cliff, which I really like. And then, of course, like a drop point, which I think is really handy. So it's a little different than your traditional Stockman, but still very functional. Okay, guys, this is actually right here. You're looking at the first knife I ever got. A USA Schrade Old Timer Medium Stockman. Nice master clip blade. Again, the sheep's foot. And what used to be a spay blade, but it's kind of been funkily sharpened over the years. It's kind of got a flat edge on the tip there. But still a very nice knife. Very good fit and finish on these. I got another one. It's the 8 Old Timer. The big one that I'll show you, with the red saw cut Delrin handle that I think looks very nice. And this master blade here has kind of a lazy snap when closing. Kind of sticks on that liner. But other than that, this knife is very good. It has a good opening snap. Not bad at all. This one I think is older than the medium Stockman that I just showed you, and I think it's got a kind of different, maybe more carbon in the steel or something like that. It gets very sharp. Nice, a big sheep's foot blade. And then what I think is probably my favorite secondary blade here is that little spay with the bend right past the nail nick. I think that looks pretty cool. But the fit and finish on those, I think it's fair to compare these to your current case knife. Here's the 2014 one. You know, a good, decent snap. At the price point, though, you might expect it to be a little better than what it is. Nice stout little pen blade, but you do get things like, if you can see that master blade, the tip is brushing up against the brass liner, and the springs aren't, they're not bad, but they're not as tight as they should be. And the other one I'll show you here is worse. This is a 2015 amber. The other one, this red one here, was in the CV. This one's in stainless, which I found that it actually gets pretty decently sharp, and you know, definitely has the rust resisting properties. So it's not terrible, but not my first choice. Again, you see that blade rubbing up against that brass liner. But really what made me buy this knife First of all, those amber covers are very well jigged and they match nicely. But I do like the blade setup of this knife, and I really like the walk and talk, if you can hear the snap on those blades. Here's a sheep's foot. And the one I think is the best out of the three is this spay blade. It's got a nice firm pull. Kind of almost I dare say, an authoritative snap. Not bad at all. So this is the pattern number 6318. I did buy an old one from 1976, I believe. Check out that red cover. Very nice. And if you'll notice between the two, maybe that sheep's foot on the older one sits a little higher than the new one. And when I actually bought the new one, it was the same way. So what I did, because obviously I do carry the older one. So what I recommend if you're going to carry your Stockman is maybe take a file like this with a nice fine texture. And these are very inexpensive. Buy yourself a good one, and then what you would do is the kick on your blade right here, you would just slowly grind it down and take your time. Okay? Get it where you want it, and make sure that you don't end up grinding too much off so that your blade will actually sit on your spring, and that'll mess up your edge. So I think on this one it turned out really well. First time I ever tried it out, I was with my sow belly Stockman, and I wanted the master blade actually to ride a little bit lower, and I didn't use a file, I used a bench grinder, which is okay, but you're obviously removing a lot more steel faster, so that does work, but I would recommend the file. It's a little more slow, a little more precise. So actually that master clip blade does hit the spring, so it does require a little bit of attention if you carry it. Here's a 6375. This is a 1974. It's got 6 dots. Very nice bone covers. I like the brown. You know, if you can't have the bright red that they're famous for, I like these brown ones, and I like them to match. This one definitely got used. Blades are a little stained up, which I think is okay. This is a very historical pattern. It's big Stockman. So I thought it would be neat to own one. But I don't really carry it because it's maybe just a little too big for what I'd like in a Stockman. I think it's like 4 1/4 inches. I'd be really interested in getting a new one from Case because they do still make these, and just kind of comparing it between the two, like with what I did. 6318s. Oh, one more thing about this. That Tang stamp reads, let's see if I can get it for you guys. 6318 HP, and then underneath all that it says SSP. And I'll kind of give you guys what that means because I did not know at first. So the 6318 is obviously the pattern, you know, 6 being bone, 3 being number of blades, 18 being the serpentine pattern frame. But HP, you know, that simply denotes H meaning sheep's foot, you know, SH for sheep's foot. And then P, obviously, SP for spay. Okay, SSP, that one was the one that really puzzled me. Well, what they actually did on this with the stainless steel is they polished that edge, like a mirror polish, to get it nice and sharp. So that's what the stainless steel polished edge, that's what that stands for. And real quick, while I have this one, the only complaint I have about it, besides the cover's not matching very well, is that spring kind of sits out on the spay blade when you have it open. If you can see like that. So the fit and finish on this old one's not perfect, but it's still a very nice knife. Very collectible. Here's overall definitely my favorite Stockman pattern. This is the Case 6332. They actually do still make this pattern, but it's actually a 63032, and the main difference is that this one has half stops and the new one they make does not. And so you can find these well up into the 70s with nice half stops. This is a nice 75 year 1975 one. Nice looking bone covers on that mark side. Pile side doesn't match so well, but this is definitely a using knife. I think I picked it up on the bay for 35 bucks is what I paid. You can see where somebody's definitely taken some sandpaper to the blade to kind of clean it up, but I think that's a steal. Check out how that master blade is centered, okay, on the spring. And all these have great pulls. Nice, crisp half stop, very functional. Nice stout pull on the pin blade. So I'm always looking out to find this 6332 pattern, you know, anywhere from the 40s, if not earlier, up on into the 60s and mid 70s. I think these are great knives to carry. Actually, as a matter of fact, I've got one coming to me right now that I just purchased off to eBay. I've also got actually 73 double-bladed GEC year 2007 coming to me that I'm pretty excited about to add to my collection here. But you know, the Stockman's a very nice traditional pattern. You know, you can have your 3 blades, maybe get a different sharpness, maybe have this being a little pocket scalpel for you, and then maybe this not so much as protect your edge from, you know, chipping or cracking with a maybe not so steep edge. Or you could use each blade for different types of work. If you don't, maybe you're catching small fish and you want to gut with your spay blade, and maybe, you know, you're going to go home that night and use your clip on, you know, maybe your dinner. So one thing to keep in mind with those 3-bladed Stockmans, I think not all cases, but in most cases, it is useful to have that 3rd blade. If you get a nice medium-sized one, it carries very well in the pocket. And like I said, if you are going to use it, I do recommend maybe filing down. If you have a high-rise blade, like maybe this one, it can create a little bit of a hot spot for some people. So filing down is highly recommended if you are going to use it. Obviously, if it's for your collection, I'd keep it nice, like I'm not going to file down that sheep's foot blade, you know, on this 6318. But it really rose to popularity over the jackknife, like this one, or even this one, you know, in the early 1900s. That was kind of the gentleman's knife, and the Stockman kind of took over later popularity. But I'm really enjoying getting back into the videos, and it's been really fun for me to kind of work with my knife collection a little bit more than I have been. So thank you guys for watching, and take it easy.